And joining me right now here for a Friday, as he always does, to preview the weekend fishing report is my main man, the myth, the legend. Yes, Damon with spacefish.com. He's got the hat on, which I like. Damon, how you doing today?
What is up, brother? Doing good, man. How are you doing on this wonderful Friday?
Well, let's start with this then. If you're going to ask that question, especially with fishing, and you're going to go over the report here in a second. Dude, it's been with the heat index, what, like 110 degrees some days?
Yeah.
Man,
Stupid.
how hot is it, Damon, right now?
Dude, it is ridiculously hot. It's ridiculously hot, and that plays a lot into fishing as well. You know, fish. It's funny. Fish are a little like us in that, like, they don't want to be. They don't enjoy this heat either. They don't enjoy the. So right now, when you get out and you're fishing, it's an early morning game or a late afternoon game. Now, if you're running offshore, that's a little different, but you still want to get out there and be out there as early as you can. If you're running offshore, I'm talking about trying to be out, especially if you're targeting the reefs, because that's really where the action is right now. You can be out there pretty quickly, like truly daybreak, where you're leaving and it's just still kind of dark. The sun's just peaking and it's closed. The reefs are close enough for where you can be out there, depending on size boat you have, of course, and how fast you can run. But at daybreak, and you're fishing, you're catching that early morning bite, and that's pretty consistent across the board. You know what I'm saying? Because by the time we get to 11:30, noon, like, man, you want to be off the water by noon, 1 o'clock at the latest. Obviously, because there's chances of storms. We haven't had a lot of rain, but normally this time of year we get those, rain chances start to build up in the afternoon. But it's just so hot, man. It's
Yeah.
The fishing a lot of times shuts down when it gets that hot.
I've been talking to a lot of different like high school football coaches this week, and some go at 6 a.m. for practice. Others will go in the afternoon. I know you've been a coordinator, coach at the high school level. Not good, man. Get me to about October, and then let's play football. That's what it needs to be. All right, let's go over the weekend fishing report here with Damon. And yes, go to spacefish.com for the latest. We'll start with offshore. Damon, what's going on for this weekend?
So this hasn't changed. So coming into this weekend, we're talking about, obviously offshore is very much predicated on the weather and what the wind's going to be doing, what the seas are going to be doing, and it's going to be great. I mean, the winds are going to be lower, which means the seas will be calmer. Calmer on Sunday than Saturday, but both days should be pretty calm overall. And it's going to be hot like we talked about, but because of that, you can run offshore easily. And right now, most of the action is going to be out on the reefs. And if you're out on the reefs, you start about 75 feet of water and you're just slow trolling baits, right? So if you can get live bait, that's great. But live bait has been very hard to get, particularly the pogies have been very hard to find per some of the captains that do this on the daily. And but frozen minnows, you can get a box of frozen minnows and troll those on like a king buster, a treble type wire rig leader setup out there, and with great results. And right now, kingfish, mahi, we saw some couple really nice cobia caught, sailfish, blackfin tuna. There's all kinds of stuff being caught out there in that area, and an unusually good number of mahi, dolphin, which is kind of surprising for this time of year for being so hot. But they're catching them, man. They're mixed in with those other fish. The water temps are right, so that's a great place to target. And when with the weather's like this along the weekends, I just highly recommend running out there and doing it. You can be out there and catch some kingfish, hopefully a couple dolphin, and maybe a bonus species like a blackfin tuna or something like that. Have them in the box and be back to the dock pretty quick. So offshore is actually pretty darn good right now.
All right, let's go to the near shore. What's going on, Damon?
And same here, man. So basically, looking for the bait pods and the birds that are working along the beach. You're just looking for activity. And right now, it's all about the tarpon, man. The tarpon, the jacks, and the sharks. That's what you're catching around these bait pods. And occasional kingfish. And if you do get a kingfish, particularly if you're slow trolling like a larger bait, it's probably going to be a pretty big kingfish. Probably going to be a pretty good sized kingfish. So, yeah, man, but the beach is popping right now. I just saw one of the guys in our fishing club, the FSFA. He's out there with his son yesterday along the beaches. Just caught a monster tarpon. I mean, fish was easily over 100 pounds. And that's what you're doing right now. That's the game. And again, it's an early game, or it can be a late afternoon game. But get out there early, daybreak. So you got some light, because you do want some lights, up so you can see the bait, what's working, and all that kind of stuff. And just fish those areas, man. Cruise up and down the beach until you find activity, and then fish those areas.
All right, let's go to the surf now here with Damon with spacefish.com. What's going on for the surf, buddy?
Yes, surf has been from a standpoint of fishing like traditional pompano rig type stuff, which is the tandem lure with the weight on the bottom. Usually your floats on that rig, cut shrimp, live sand fleas if you can get them, that type of stuff, fish bites. It's been okay. It hasn't been great, but we did see some croakers. We have seen some whiting, some margates caught around the Satellite Beach area where there's some rocks and stuff like that. A few black drum, a sporadic pompano here and there, but it's okay. Where we're seeing a little bit better action on the surface is for snook. This is the time of year because you obviously they're spawning. You can't keep them, which is great. They need to do their thing, but this is a great time of year to target those snook off the beach and tarpon. So we did see one of the kids that my boys went to high school with. I didn't get the photo. I just happened to see it on a social media. They showed it to me this week. Caught a monster tarpon from the surf, fishing live bait, and those fish are up against early morning, late. Those fish are chasing that bait almost all the way up to the beach. So this is the time of year where you can hook into a big old tarpon off the beach, and it's just so much fun.
All right, we're at Damon, spacefish.com. Let's go to the lagoons now for the weekend fishing report. What's going on, Damon?
Yeah, man. So just like we were talking about, early, late. I can't stress that enough. So this is Captain Glenn Austin, and basically what he's saying, he goes, man, we had a great trip inshore. We'll show one of his pictures here in a minute. It was ridiculous. He said, but it shuts off at 9 a.m. So, I mean, you'll see in the picture when we pull this picture up here in a little bit, you can see what time of morning it is. It's like the sun's just cracking kind of thing. But that's where the bite is. And by 9 o'clock, man, these big snook and jack and everything else that they're catching, they're shutting down. He said live bait is the best. If you've got live bait, that's what you're going to catch, those big, if you're chasing those big 40+ inch snook, those big monsters, that's what you want. But you can catch fish on artificial too.
I just realized my editing here, it says L then I've bait. All right, that's my mistake there. I apologize. Let's go to the freshwater, the last one with Damon. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, and this is Captain Terry. And basically, he said he fished Headwaters Lake. He said the temperatures were below 90 degrees, which is warm. I mean, it's summer. The water's warm. He said same thing. It's an early morning bite. They did manage to catch 12 bass, mostly small, but he said kind of one of the last spots that they moved to, he did end up catching a really nice bass, almost 7 pounds, 6 pounds, 10 ounces. He said the game is just dragging worms, real, artificial worms. Rubber worms is what I grew up calling them, dragging them across the bottom real slow, fishing them slow. And that's how he got that big bass. So that's kind of the game. And he was probably off the water at 10 o'clock, knowing Terry, just because, I don't blame him. That's the point. You're just like, okay, we caught 12 fish, got a big one. It's hot. Let's get out of here.
All right. That is the weekend fish report. I'm going to bring this back up here to see our beautiful faces. Here's the key. If you have any questions, concerns, you want to submit your photos, videos, go to spacefish.com for the latest. It's also on my website as well at markmoseyshow.com. Let's go to those photos that Damon was talking about, and we'll start with Terry. What do we got here, buddy?
So this is that big bass we were just talking about, 6 pounds, 10 ounces. And then you can see he's got a mouthful of hydrilla right there, those weeds. And he said it made a couple big hard runs down into the weeds, but he got it off. But yeah, man, that's that bass, 6 pounds. 10 ounces, almost 7 pounds. That's a really nice fish.
All right, let's go to John here. Oh, what is this, buddy?
Yeah, so that's John. So John fishes a lot at night. Particularly, he does it all the time. But like this time of year, there's a lot of great action at night. And this is, and it's cooler at night. And this is just a really nice tarpon that he caught targeting the lagoon at night. So we had to share that picture, man. It was just a really, really killer fish.
This one I love. I think you said this is the mahi. Oh, man, what a great photo.
Yeah, buddy, there's your black and mahi sandwich right there. It's a beautiful fish caught with fired up charters out of Port Canaveral. And, man, just, you look at that fish is just lit up. They're so pretty and they're so delicious. And that guy, he's just hold his trophy for the day, thinking about those sandwiches later on.
Yeah, I hope we can join him because that does look good. It does. And then what's the last one we got here?
So this is the one. This is Captain Glenn. This is what I'm telling you about. So this is what they're doing. They're fishing live bait around these spoil islands early in the morning. And look at the size. That's a 40-inch snook right there, or darn close to it. I'm telling you. And if you just look in the background, you just at the sun, like you can tell what time of morning it is. It's early. And I mean, this, I'm talking, that's probably not even 7 o'clock yet, 7 o'clock maybe. So, yeah, man. So it's an early game. Get out there, target these big girls. Catch them, get a cool photo, get them back in the water, let them do what they do. and live on to fight another day. So, man, that's just a phenomenal picture of this big old snook that his client caught.
Yeah, and if you want us to highlight you, shoot us an email with your photos of your fishing adventures. And don't worry, I went for an oil change this week at 7:00 in the morning. I understand.
So, I do have to mention one other thing, Mark. So if you're into fishing tournaments and you want to fish a big boy fishing tournament, we have one of the meccas for this area coming up here next weekend. It's the Swordfish Shootout, the 5th annual Swordfish Shootout, sponsored by Strike Zone. It's fished out of the Sebastian Saltwater Marina down at the south end of the county in Sebastian. And you still time to register for that. You can go to swordfishshootout.com, I think is what it is. And man, it's an unbelievable tournament. It's like a 2.5-day tournament, huge prizes, huge Calcuttas, and some monster. We usually every year end up getting a fish that hits a scale that's over 200, 250 pounds. So it's awesome, man. It's such a cool tournament.
All right, that's next weekend.
Next weekend, yeah, man. It's time to sign up. I think the last day you can sign up is Thursday, in person at the actual captain's party that they do down at the like I said, Sebastian Saltwater Marina. So yeah, but you can also register online too. So at the website. So yeah, man, that's a fun one to do.
Okay, before I let you go, should we go fishing this weekend?
Absolutely, man. The weather's going to cooperate. It's going to be hot. We know that already, but the seas are going to cooperate. So get out there and make it happen, Captain.
Damon, thanks for your help and have a great weekend.
You too, buddy.